So the Lord wanted me to come and tell some of you that you are already in your restoration, but for some reason it's not clicking in that clicker. Okay, boo, it's not clicking in the clicker. Look, some of y'all already in restoration, but you were expecting BK, have it your way. You was expecting like express delivery, like Amazon Prime or something. You was expecting it to be at your doorstep overnight. Yes, it can happen like that. It can. But some people's restoration don't happen exactly like that. So he gave me the example of Job, and he also gave me the example with Joseph. So, Joseph was minding his business, and all of a sudden he's called upon, and everything is just handed to him. Literally, everything is just handed right on over to him. It can happen like that for some people. But for others, the Lord builds upon things with you. And he's wanting you to realize that things are going actually more rapid for you than you are expecting or you have, perceived. Things are actually moving a little bit more rapid for you than you perceive, because there's certain things in your life that the Lord is doing that when you step back and you kind of go, hold on, we're making progress here. And normally that would have taken about 2 years, and that just took me 6 months. The Lord is moving you quickly, but when we're living in the moment, it doesn't actually feel like it's going as fast. We're wanting it to go more rapid. So with Job's story, we can see that there was a progression, a steady progression into his expansion and living out a latter life that was greater than his beginning, right? So many of you are looking at the Lord and you're like, God, I thought by now we would have been further along. And he's saying, I want you to open your eyes to the fact that you are already in restoration. It's just happening at my speed, which is still fast, but it's not that BK have it your way right away type of thing, okay? So it's coming in, but it's coming in steadily. He's building you up steadily. And a lot of times the Lord was telling me today, the reason why he builds us up steady is because he wants us to be able to have the ability to hold it all. So he will add on to you so that you have the ability to hold it all, the capacity to hold what he gives you. Because if he gives certain things to you rapidly, you're not going to be able to hold it. So I'm reminded right now of a friend of mine that used to tell me that their mother would pray for their business to expand, and they would be like, look, I needed to, steadily expand, not just overnight, because they wouldn't be able to handle it. All right. And it's the same thing for us. There's many of us that the Lord he's expanding upon us and giving us more and more and more as we go and adding on to us. Okay. So in Job 42:10, it says, after Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and doubled his previous possessions. It didn't happen that day, is what I'm trying to get at. It was a steady progression that the Lord continued to add on to Job, okay? So also I want you to catch on to this. The Lord was pointing out this to me, okay? After he prayed for these people who hurt him, he released the past, okay? The Lord was able to add on to him. So if you have been reading along with us in Let's Study with Job, you can see that his friends have a lot of accusations, okay? They came with nothing but accusations and absolutely no comfort to a man that is at his worst. He's lost everything, everyone. He's at the lowest of the lowest, literally. And they have no kind words for him whatsoever. They just continue to accuse him in every kind of way, right? You could have took that personal for sure. Because there was moments when reading that I said, Job, you gonna let him talk to you like that? Okay. All right. You definitely could have taken that personal. And some of this happened with you too. The Lord had you in a process that other people did not understand, and they cast their judgments, etc., towards you. But you got to let that go in order to step into the thing that God has for you. That was very powerful what Job did regarding his friends. He released all those negative feelings, and trust me, I'm sure he had some. Have you read Job? Okay. I'm sure he had some negative feelings towards his friends, but he released those things. And the Lord is calling us to do the same as we're entering into our restoration. And some of you that you're already in your restoration, but the Lord is pointing out today that many of us need to let go of bitterness and things that we're still holding on to, and actually pray for those people, because they're needing prayer also. There's some things in that story with Job's friends that they just didn't see regarding their own characteristics. So many of them, they misjudged him, they misunderstood him, but Job decided to release them and he forgave them. He actually prayed for them. And in that moment, when his heart shifted, so that things shift in his life, and the Lord began restoring upon him. And the Lord begins to restore him to a position that is better. But catch the fact that it did not all happen at once. The Lord added on to him little by little. So in Ephesians 4, verses 31 to 32, it says, "Let all the bitterness, anger, and wrath, shouting and slander be removed from you, along with all malice, and be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving one another, just as God also forgave you in Christ." So some of your next levels are blocked, and it's because of that bitterness, okay? You're still holding on to it. And the Lord is saying, as we step into the new thing, I continue to say this to you guys. He brings up that old wineskin over and over again. It's time to let it go. Even letting go of the frustration, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, all that is associated with that old wineskin. Release it. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for them, because they're walking around, they're not thinking about you. It's for you so that you can move on into what God has for you. Better days are ahead of us. So forgiveness unlocks doors for you. It's all about you and your heart posture. God will deal with them and whatever they need to be dealt with, okay? He'll correct them. Sometimes it's not for you to do. Sometimes it's just for you to release it so that you can be free of it and you can step into what God has for you. And over in Job 42:12, it says, "So the Lord blessed his latter part of Job's life more than the former." The end, the rest, whatever was left of his life, God gave more to him than what it was that he even lost. So there's some of you that are counting the loss. There's so much that you've had to give up, relinquish, right? But the Lord is saying, I have even more for you. But there's this last piece that you're still holding on to. And that's that unforgiveness. It's that bitterness. And the Lord is calling for us to release those things as we cross over into the things that he has for us, the new beginnings. So God doubled his wealth. He restored Job's status, and he gave him back his children also. But think about this. Kids, it takes about, if you're having them one by one, that's a 9-month period. All right. And you know how it is back in the day, they didn't have TV. So possibly, they might have been 10 months apart. Me and my brother, we 10 months apart. They was going down the line. Everybody was 10 months apart, y'all. It was quite possible, okay? But even in that, it took time to restore all those children back unto Job, all right? So he had 7 sons and 3 daughters. That's at least a good decade of making some babies, all right? So if you think about this, it didn't happen overnight. Job did not wake up the next morning with 10 little kids running around his house. No, they had to make them individually. Maybe they might have a set of twins or something. But y'all, it took a while to make these kids, all right? And so will our rebuilding. Many of you, the Lord is saying basically, do not despise small beginnings. Do you see him in the small thing? Do you see how fast it is actually moving for you? There's some of you that the Lord just took you through something and he's bringing you into something else. There's like something new opening to you. But did you just recognize the old thing that he just did? That was restoration. That might have been 6 months, 9 months, but think about how long that might have taken in the past for you to get through that, to get to this new thing that he's bringing you to. He's wanting you to see that he is restoring you. And he's in the midst of your restoration. But he wants to also make sure that as he adds on to you, you have the capacity to hold it. It's very important that you have the capacity to hold the blessings as he begins to increase you, because your ladder is going to be better than anything that you experience back over there. So that's my reminder to some of you today, is that everyone's process didn't look the same. Nor will everyone's restoration be the same. But the Lord is wanting you to begin to open your eyes and realize Some of you are already in the process of restoration. You've just been looking at it like, oh, it's small. No, some of the small things that are happening to you is the exact same things that you were praying for. It's the beginning of the Lord restoring you. So count it all joy. Literally, take joy in every little thing and find gratitude in the things that God is doing to move you forward in your life. I will talk with you guys soon, and you guys have a blessed day. Bye, family.